Welcome back to my Hoops Dynasty Tutorial blog video series, where last time we selected the team Nazareth, and that's where we left off. So you got your new team. Now you're like, what do I do next? There's so many things I need to do. And to be honest, there probably is. But let's just go to the basics, because when you first start, there's nothing really to do other than take more looks at your team, so on and so forth, because there's really not a lot left for you to actually change and update. So we're going to start with our practice plan. Okay, and normally your page will look something like this, right? If you're on a mobile device, it'll probably look something like this. Mobile device, you click here, and otherwise you have your stuff across the middle here. And sorry about my thing that popped up there, right? You got your coaching, your recruiting, so on and so forth up at the top. So for practice plan, you go to coaching, practice plan. Or if you're on mobile, you go click your little arrow, brings up here, coaching, practice plan. Now, you're always going to want to look at team practice. That is the first thing that you want to look at, right? And in here, I say a minimum of 20. Okay, that'll get you doing pretty well. I like to hit 22 to 25 in there, right? So, and actually I put in my blog 24. So let's go with what my blog said, 24. Okay, I think I changed it in my Wyoming team to 22. You could probably do 23, but a lot of people say there's diminishing, I'm not going to go 22, diminishing returns because of once you hit over 20, you're starting to get diminishing returns. It's not going to get you as much improvement as you might get otherwise. That's what a lot of people have said anyways. So we're going to go with the 20 is the sweet spot, and we're going to put 22. I'm going to update my blog here to 22. 22 minutes for our team practice. And our total practice has to be 130 minutes, which is our team practice, our 22 and 22. Plus our individual improvement gives us our total. Notice over here, we've got our total of 134 on this side over here. So with that, potentials matter. So I'm going to help you out here real quick. If you don't really care, click this little optimize button right here. The optimize button optimizes this based on what the CPU thinks is good. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do that. We're going to click on optimize just to show you what it does. Oh man, it changed everything, and it makes sure everything's at 130. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing that they do very, very wrong. They put too many minutes in study hall. All right, they definitely put too many minutes in study hall. So we're going to change that as we go. But specifically, let's go potentials matter. We're just going to pick on Howard Rowland here, and we're going to look at his potentials. Okay, remember, green is very high, blue is high, black is average or like no color. So these white ones are actually my black ones. Okay, those ones are our average improvement. Orange is low, red is no improvement. So this point guard, to be honest, isn't going to be very much better than what he already is. Right? And he's a sophomore. That's a little scary. Okay, so now let's look at our Troy Brzezinski, our power forward here. Again, lots of the same. So let's find this freshman. Let's see if he has any greens and blues. Ah, there we go. This Charles Humphrey shooting guard, he's going to be a defensive menace because he's got a blue. He's got a high improvement in there. He can do low post. He's going to be able to do perimeter. His free throw is going to go up. Those are some pretty good categories that I like to see. Let's look at my Gary Whitaker here. This guy looks pretty darn good. His athleticism is low for a power forward, though. Good stamina, good blocking. His defense is going to be terrible. He's never going to do anything good there. Good blocking, going to be able to score. Perimeter, ball handling, passing. He might actually turn more into a small forward than an actual power forward eventually. Andrew Williams here, looking pretty good. He's going to be a good rebounder, good low post. Terrible on defense, unfortunately. Oh, man. I'm not liking these freshmen that are on my team right now. But everywhere else, you know, these seniors, I should expect them not to have any blues or anything, but some of them do. This guy doesn't. This guy's going to be good there. Lots of them are doing well. And I'm going quick through this, yes, but I'm just quickly looking at the colors to show you what the potentials really, where it really matters. The guys in the red and oranges that I just saw should be your guys that are not going to improve really at all. And this guy's going to improve, actually. I'm surprised. So, specifically, you're studying, okay? So, I'm going to show you these rules. I did receive some feedback from this post, and I have updated it because it was wrong. So, make sure you set every player to 0 study hall minutes. So, I'm going to do that first. Okay, every player. And then we'll worry about after every player is at 0, we'll move on from there. So 0 minutes. And I always try to start my practice plan first thing when I get a team or whenever my season restarts, because your practice plan is going to change every year. And it's actually, I like looking at least twice a year just in case if things change. Sometimes I don't. It just depends on the year and the season and how much time I really have to dedicate to Hoops Dynasty. So you can check it as often as you like. You can update it as often as you like. If you feel like you're not getting the improvement that you'd like to see across the board, something fairly simple there. So we're going to go 0. Okay, everybody's at 0. Now it says if a high school recruit has a GPA of below 3.0. So let's look at these freshmen. Okay, he had a 3.1. Okay, if he had that, I put 1 point for every 0.1 they'd be below. This guy had a 3.1. He's not below a 3.0. So guess what? I'm going to leave him at 0. Right? Gary Whitaker, he was above. So Gary Whitaker and Andrew Williams were both above a 3.0. Charles Humphrey was a 2.6. So 3.0 minus 2.6 is 0.4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put a 4 in his, right? Okay. Guess what? Everyone else is going to stay 0. Because let's be honest, let's take a peek first. Actually, we're going to go here. I'm actually going to go, and these guys that have below a 3.0, we're going to give them a little bit of boost here just to make sure that we are following through with what we need. But if they're above a 3.0, just leave them where they are. And notice that I'm doing the same thing that I would do for a freshman for these guys that are older right now, just so they don't go under and I don't lose them halfway through the season, because I don't want that either. Okay, so okay, everybody has to have above a 2.5. Guess what? Division III, there are no requirements for a player to be eligible. So let's say you're in recruiting and you want to recruit a player that's ineligible, he's going to play right away. There's no issues with, right? There's no requirements for Division III. You can have anybody play right away. So if you recruit a Division I player that's ineligible at the Division I and Division II levels and he comes to your school, he's going to play right away for you, which is a bonus for you as a coach. So very, very important there. So now we're going to look at, my practice plan, I really went into the study hall and kind of talked about potentials matter. Okay. I didn't really talk about the numbers in my blog post on what you really need to do for numbers, because to be honest, it's very, very fluid. So we're going to go through each player here, starting with Roland Howard. Okay. And I'm going to break down everything down to a 10 just to show you that you can actually have everything at 10 and still be good. Okay, but remember, red means that they're basically not going to improve in this area. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 areas are probably not going to improve. This guy's not going to improve. So I'm going to drop those down to like a 5 or something. To be honest, you probably could go all the way to a 0. It really won't matter. But because this guy's a point guard, I'm going to give him some perimeter defense, because I really think defense is good, and I want this guy's speed to keep increasing. So I'm going to go 15, 15, 15, and I'm going to go down 1 in. I want to keep ball handling up and passing up. We're going to go down. Actually, we're going to go 0 in low post because guess what? He already has a 7 and he's not going to improve very much there. I don't care at this point because I don't need him to be in the low post. Again, I also don't need him to rebound because he's a point guard, for crying out loud. Well, we'll leave him at 10 there because a little bit of rebounding from your point guard is pretty good. So we're going to actually go 16, 16, 16, 12 there, 17, 17, 17. And for good measure, we'll do 18 in our defense. And that gives us that guy. And he's going to improve in the areas I want him to improve, not in the areas that the computer thinks he should improve. Okay, now let's go on to Troy Pazinski. And to be honest, once I get through, actually, I'm going to skip the guys that have the reds now. I'm going to go to a guy that has some greens and blues. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to go to this guy because I want to show you what really matters when we go into the players that are younger, okay? Because you want your players to be the best they can be at their specific areas, okay? That's important for you. Now, this guy's a shooting guard. He doesn't necessarily need low post skills, so I'm actually going to come down on that because I really don't care at this point. Maybe if that's the last area that he needs to improve in, I might put some scoring in there. So specifically, I don't need him to have low post skills. This guy does not need it. So I'm actually going to not put a lot into that because I want him to be better in another area. Rebounding 10, average improvement. I'm going to do the same thing here. I don't want him to have too much there because guess what? It doesn't really matter. Now, the thing I really like here, this guy's a 61 and a 65, or no, sorry, 61 and a 64 athleticism and speed. That's elite. Okay, this is a freshman and he is elite. Hear me, elite for athleticism and speed for the Division III level, and he's a freshman. That is huge. Okay, so we're gonna leave 10 there. Okay, it's gonna do maybe 12. All right, we're gonna bump up to 15 here on our defense because I want him to be a defensive menace because he's going to probably be starting this year because he has a good defense. I want him to do that, right? He has a perimeter. I want him to do perimeter, and I want him to have free throw. Everything else can just maintain, right? Because I've got 10s. I don't need my low post, don't need rebounding, but everything else is giving me my athleticism and speed, defense, perimeter, a little better ball handling because I really want him to be a ball handler too because he is a shooting guard. He will be on the outside. He'll need to have some ball handling skills, and he also needs to pass it into the low block to get it to my scorers down low as well. So to be honest, that's kind of what you do with every single player. You just go on down. Let's do one more with Gary Whitaker here with my other great freshman here that has some good ratings that I really like. Okay. Now this is looking at a guy that's not a guard. Okay, this guy's not a guard. This is a power forward. Now, I don't like this number. I don't like that it's orange. I can't do anything about it because I didn't recruit him. If I would have recruited him, I wouldn't have recruited him, to be honest. But we're going to look at every category here that can make or break this player for his actual ratings that are important. Okay. Rebound, we're going to leave it 10. Maybe actually go to 8 because it's not going to improve very much. I'm going to put a 12 here because of blocking. 12 for low post because he's a low post player. Now, something that a lot of players and a lot of coaches don't think about is the perimeter skill. This perimeter skill isn't necessarily important, but if you have a player, a big man like this, right? You've got your power forward, your center that can walk out or like hop out to 3-point line and hit a 3 with, fairly good consistency. You just have another way to attack your opponent. So I'm actually going to give him a 12 in perimeter. All right. Now I don't want to completely give up on passing and ball handling because let's be honest, it might be helpful to have some kind of passing and ball handling skills for this player in the future. So I'm going to leave them at 10 because I do want him to have those because having a power forward that can pass and ball handle only benefits you in the long run. It's not saying it's a requirement. No. Is it going to make him any better at scoring and defense? No. It'll only help to help your team. Okay. So know that. And then we're going to look at my last freshman and I will do the other ones outside of this video. So again, we're going to come in here, we're going to drop everything 10. Okay, so his rebounding is high. I left that at 15 for a reason, because I want him to be able to be a rebounder. He's already got a pretty darn good low post skills. I like that. I'm going to drop ball handling to 0, because guess what? He's not going to improve enough for me to really care. Don't care. Okay. His defense is all right. Blocking's a little bit better. This guy's going to be pretty good there, so I'm going to put a 12, just a random number. I do want him to be better at free throwing, because free throw is terrible right now, and he's going to be a guy that's going to shoot a lot of them for me. Leave my passing at 10, perimeter at 12, I guess, and we'll bring conditioning up to 12. That gets me to 130. And notice, always down here, it gives me changes as we go down at the bottom. So I'm going to click Save All just to save it. And let you know that this is the practice plan video. And I hope you liked it. I hope that it gave you enough information to move forward, be able to do your team, and not waste your point values. And again, some of these might not be great. Leave a comment. Let me know. Say, hey, this isn't good. This isn't the way it works. If you're a veteran player and you say, hey, this is how I do it, this is really to help those teams, that those players and coaches that maybe need a little extra boost and a little understanding to understand that, hey, I need to improve my team, but I also need to know what my team is good at to be able to do well. So leave some comments. If you leave a comment in this video or the last video, I will include it in the future videos to come. Anything that makes sense or you need help with, so on and so forth. Take a look at my blog, hdcareer.blogspot.com. No, I'm not asking for money. No, I will never ask you for money. This is more for me and for coaches that need it. I don't really care otherwise. Now, if you want to donate seasons so I can continue this blog, please do so, or sign up for additional seasons using the links on my blog. And you can find those literally right on the side where it says sign up for Hoops Dynasty. You could do the same thing if you're interested in Gridiron Dynasty for football or Hardball Dynasty for baseball. So I look forward to having our next video series on our Nazareth team here, in which we will probably be going over how to set up the depth chart. Okay, the depth chart is our next very important piece. So have a great rest of your day.